Have you ever wondered what it'd be like to live off-grid? To be mobile, with no permanent address? I did. I've spent the last year living in a bus and a truck. Here's my story. I'm Ben Cummings, and this is my home. I first got interested in tiny houses and minimalism back in 2015. I was reading a blog by Ken Lagunas. He has a book called Walden on Wheels, and but first I discovered his blog and I started reading, and I read the whole blog about his experience living in a van while he was going to school, and it was something that was really cool, something I was interested in, so I decided to look into it further. Being from Atlantic, Canada, it wasn't easy. It was something that would definitely be a challenge. With our cold winters and with just the logistics of not having somewhere to actually live, I needed to find somewhere to call my own and somewhere I could be safe. Back in 2017, I bought a bus and I moved into it, and I lived in it for 5 months, and it was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I didn't have a bathroom. It was just basically a stripped bus without seats. Didn't have a bathroom, didn't have a bed. It was missing quite a lot of stuff. No way to cook anything. I had a small little hot plate that I used, but I eventually started to get things rolling. I did the interior. It looked really nice pine boards, insulated, but the bus had a few issues with it mechanically, and it was something that I wasn't able to fix myself. Actually, on our first trip to Grand Manan, the tailpipe fell off, and I didn't know how to fix it, so I ended up that fall going into a welding program and got some know-how on how to fix it, and I never ended up fixing it. But throughout the winter, I moved back into an apartment, and I ended up living in an apartment for the winter until the spring, and then I got the itch again. I was tired of paying rent. Actually, when the reason I first got interested in this whole movement, this whole minimalism movement, was because I didn't want someone to be getting money off of me. I remember our landlord, back when I was living in an apartment, we had asked her to put in faster internet. She said no, which was understandable, but she said no because they had just started making money, and I didn't want that to. I didn't like the idea that somebody was making money off of me just being alive and just having a roof over my head and spending thousands of dollars and not having anything to show for it. So in 2017, our lease was up in May, and I didn't actually have the bus then. I moved into my car for a week and then started sleeping in parking lots, sleeping in my tiny little 2010 Civic, and then I eventually moved into the bus and then lived in it while I was working in the city. Fast forward to 2018, like I said, I had the itch to start living in something smaller again, so I went on the hunt. I bought a truck, a big red Ford F-150. I wanted a reliable vehicle that I wouldn't have to worry about the tailpipe falling off. I wouldn't have to worry about the brakes going or just any other mechanical issues that the bus had. So I I bought the truck, and then I started looking, while I was still in an apartment. I did it smarter this time. I started looking for a truck camper. I bought a truck with an 8-foot box so that I could put a camper in the back, and I ended up finding one. I found one on Kijiji for, it was in my budget, it was in the right price range, so I ended up buying it, and I started renovating it. I started working on it, as opposed to moving into like I did with the bus. I moved into the bus way too soon, and I ended up not having any amenities. I didn't have any proper way of going about using the bathroom or cooking food even, and the truck has a fridge, has a stove, and I have a portable toilet to use. So once I finished school in 2018, I finished the welding program, and I was still living in my apartment until the end of June, and then after June had finished, I already had the truck, I was already working on the camper, and then I just made the transition from the apartment to my truck, and now here I live in this truck. And it still has issues. There's some leaks in the roof. I'm still working on fixing that, a couple leaks. But I've installed solar, I've installed the toilet, like I said, and done a lot of electrical work especially, and some just interior design and fixing things up, and then having my own things. Yeah, and just trying to make things as viable as possible for me to live in this tiny, tiny space.